closing ceremony.
Somebody's been here before. Perfect. My name's Russ. I'm the senior rank captain for the Patriot Guard Riders here in Northeast Indiana. We're kind of a odd group. We float around a lot of different things. Anything has to do with soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and their families, we're usually involved. I have a hell of a crew up here, as you've noticed, I think, all the way up here today. If you were in the procession or in the run, those are all my friends and family that are out there holding flags, about, I don't know, a couple thousand of them maybe, something like that. If you notice that flag above Silver Lake, that's my garrison flag that Mitch Daniels gave me about 14 years ago, being his, well, whatever I was, buddy of mine. He's governor of Indiana 2 terms, made me an honorary Patriot Guard member. He thought, honorary crap, if he wouldn't bought a motorcycle and rode with us for a year, all the years he was in office. So that was important to him. Now he's president of Purdue. So I still hang out with him down there at Purdue alone. We obviously appreciate you guys coming through Indiana. Again, I said this same kind of speech last night, but it's a big deal for us. And of course, Don, my buddy Don, we've been working on this for a while. And I met George a couple, 3 different Indiana Run for the Fallens ago, and when they asked me to help or be involved or asked me what I wanted to do, I said, well, I want to do it all. So somebody made a comment earlier today about over the top, and I guess maybe I am, I don't know for sure. But anyway, I love all this. I love you guys. I'm getting to know George and all these Run for the Fallen kids. We've got some Michigan Michigan honor. Remember people there, I'm sure George will introduce them. This is Don Hall's guest house. Awesome spot. We're going to have a real nice meal here in a little bit. The Patriot Guard Riders picked up the tab for all that, so I wanted to let you know that if you see a Patriot Guard guy, when you see one of them, you mentioned it. We raise a lot of money for a lot of good things, and obviously this is one. So I hope the meal is good, and here in a little bit I'll be happy to bless it. So I'm going to introduce George. Everybody knows George, I think, by now. So I'm going to give it to George, and he's going to fix us all up.
Somebody would fix me up. Gosh, they say you should never apologize when you get up and talk to people. But I have to apologize because this morning I had a wisdom teeth pulled out. So I'm not feeling the best, and a little bit of pain, but I'm working through it. I wasn't able to be on most of the run this morning, or really any of the run this morning. It was really sad because I wasn't able to see some of my families that are near and dear to me, and like the Moores came out all the way from New Jersey to be at their market today. And so, just grateful to see you guys today, and just it means a lot to know that it means so much to you. So thank you for that. I know Roy came from Michigan, and his team, he's our Michigan State Chapter Director. So grateful that he's here. I'm going to try not to do a lot of talking right now because of my mouth. I usually end up talking longer than I should. I said to myself this morning, my tooth was getting cold, and I took a few hours of rest that, this only comes around once in a lifetime, to me anyway. And this moment here that you're in is an historic moment, because we're not going to do it again that I know of. It took too many years of planning, it took too much organization, and it's just phenomenal emotional and physical pressure to just get to this moment right here. And so I'm not going to put, no matter how bad I feel, this is giving my personal honesty. I just need to be a part of it. I need to be in it, and I need to be involved with it. And I hope that that's why you're here as well. That regardless of the challenges, we figure it out, and we decide we're going to be a part of, of a unique and spectacular moment. And that's what I believe this is. 20,000 heroes, 20,000 men and women who we have identified have given their lives in the last 18 years. Since October 12th of 2000 with the USS Cole, I'm supposed to ask everybody to silence their cell phones. So if everybody would do that. Since October 12th of 2000 to present day, and we're still adding names, 20,000 service members who have died while serving, regardless of circumstance, or as a result of serving. And that includes even those that have succumbed to the hidden wounds of post-traumatic stress. You know, this is probably, I can't, as I think it through, try to figure out if it's ever been, anything like this has ever been done. I don't believe so. You know, we call this the most comprehensive fallen veteran tribute ever conceived, because we're doing something as an organization that nobody really is doing. One is we're inclusive. We're including every casualty, you know, while or as a result of, and we're calling them out loud. We were at a memorial wall the other day in Marseilles, Illinois, where all of the battle casualties are engraved on a wall. There's like 12 panels full of names. And we ended our day there, and as I was looking at those panels, I was reminded that we're calling every one of those names out loud. Every single name on every panel we're calling out loud, times 3. That's how many names. And the significance of that is mind-boggling to me. And I hope it makes that impression to those that are here and those that hear about it. Because we're not just a group that says we're running across America for our fallen. We're running across America for each individual name that gave their life, you know, in that last 18 years. And that's the importance and the magnitude of what this event is. And you know, by the Moors alone are not the only family. Do we have that flag? Do we have the
Gold Star.
The Gold Star family?
yeah. You know, the most important thing, the two most important things a Gold Star family, I'm assuming a lot in here, but I'm assuming you know what a Gold Star family is. And the definition of a Gold Star family. But the two things that families covet, right, is that their loved one didn't die in vain and that they not be forgotten. And each family, in their own way, is remembering their loved one. There's 1,000 different ways that families are remembering their loved ones. But you see, they're supposed to. That's their job. When they start forgetting who their loved one was or what they looked like or what they sounded like, that's scary. But it's the rest of America who they've given their loved one for. It really needs to show that they remember. But I'm going to just show you this flag. This flag has been signed by every Gold Star family that we have encountered that have come to their marker since we started 77 days ago. So I want to show you how important it is. To them, right? How much more important should it be for us? Because they gave their loved ones so that everybody else didn't have to. And so the very least that we can do as Americans is show appreciation. And how do we appreciate? We appreciate by remembering. We appreciate by calling their names out loud so that they're not forgotten. And that is what this journey is all about. And it's not about getting to the end. I'll tell you that. Whew, I'm emotional. But it's about every single mile that we run and every name that we call out, because they're important to that individual family. No, it's not like, oh, we got to get through this. You know, it's no. Everyone has got a mom and dad, maybe a spouse, maybe kids, aunts, uncles, extended family. I mean, we're remembering for all of them. And it's important that we send this message to America. And I'm really appalled sometimes. I mean, we're 77 days in. And I've said this the last couple of nights, and we still don't have it. We still don't have national news. We still have not been covered by national news, 77 days in, and having called out over 15,000 service members by name. And that, to me, is appalling, because what's on the news these days is not as near as important as this moment right here, or that moment tomorrow on our way to Portland, or Indianapolis, or all the way to Arlington. So, I know I'm preaching to the choir, but I want to be sure that you understand my heart and the importance of what this means. And it's not just, okay, we're gonna go out and run today. Every day, every marker, we reverently and respectfully have a routine, because we wanna make sure that every family member, that every name that we're calling out is honored in the same way. And so if you haven't, how many of you have watched us on the live feed? Okay, so pretty much most everybody knows what we do. You guys maybe haven't seen us, I know Don has, but at this table, what we got running, so just you guys. What is the date of your level?
January 12th, 2011.
Okay, so you guys were there together, so you were able to see. Okay, so I don't have to explain that. So reverently and respectfully, every marker, we are consistent with the way that we operate. And then we move on marker by marker, 10 hours a day, start at 5 a.m. You get up at 5 a.m., we're running by 7, and then we finish whenever. Whenever our work is done, because it's not just done when we're done running. Because we have 4 vehicles we have to maintain. They have to be cleaned every night, gassed up, reorganized, iced back up. I mean, it's an ordeal that sometimes takes till 10 or 11 at night. So and this happens every single day, day after day, and has for the last 77 days. So what we do in the evening, I'm just going to move on. What we do in the evening, before we have a meal, is we reread all of the names that we ran for that day. Because we read them at each marker. However, it's a very noisy environment. We're even broadcasting it live, and we get messages, oh, we couldn't hear that because the truck went by, or the microphone, we weren't close enough, or whatever that may be. And so, even though we're saying them mile after mile, they're not often always heard. And obviously, there's only a few that are there to hear them. So in the evening, we have an opportunity to reread the names of those that we ran for, so that all those who we're with have a chance to stand for those families who aren't here to hear those names. And so we're going to go ahead and read those names tonight. We ran for 205 service members today, over 55 dates of death. So you can do the math on that. And that was at the end of 2010 and into 2011. So 55 days, so a month and a half of 205 casualties. And so I'm going to have Kristen come up. It's right here. And whoever else is helping to read. And you guys do not have to stand. It's going to take a few minutes to read through these names, so please be comfortable. But please, as you listen, be reminded that the family, we have some families here, but obviously most of those families are not here. So listen as if they're your families. And let's honor them again tonight.
So the dates that we ran for today were December 11th, 2010 through February 8th, 2011. So we've been to another year. Just please silence your cell phones if you haven't already. Specialist Alan A. Howardell, United States Army. Corporal Willie A. McLaughlin, Jr., United States Army. Chief Warrant Officer 4, Philip Lavelle Clemens, United States Marine Corps. Specialist Patrick D. Deans, United States Army. Captain Juan Escrivas Lightfoot, United States Army. Master Sergeant Ladius Roshan Bogus, United States Army. Staff Sergeant Katrina Ann Williams, United States Army. Specialist Derek T. Simonetta, United States Army. Corporal Kenneth E. Nicosia, Jr., United States Army. Specialist Jorge E. Velisis, United States Army. Corporal Willie A. McLaughlin Jr., United States Army. Corporal Sean M. Collins, United States Army. Master Sergeant Christopher Lewis Surtees, United States Army. Staff Sergeant Kirk Allen Waymere Jr., United States Army. Sergeant Lillian Ann Bell, United States Army. Sergeant Lords Nadej Rami, United States Army. Private First Class Nicholas N. Galloway, United States Army. Tech Sergeant Mark Thomas Sharp, United States Air Force. Tech Sergeant Devin Wade Nam Tom, United States Air Force. Specialist August Jermarn Brito II, United States Army. Specialist Sean R. Cutsforth, United States Army. Staff Sergeant Justin E. Schimmelstieg, United States Marine Corps.
Corporal Sean A. Osterman, United States Marine Corps. Corporal Alexander Cortarte, United States Army. Lance Corporal Jose L. Maldonado, United States Marine Corps. Master Sergeant Anthony Thomas Brown, United States Army. Corporal Eric M. Torbert Jr., United States Marine Corps. Petty Officer Brian Lewis Barber, United States Navy. Sergeant First Class Renold Richard Lawrence, United States Army. Private First Class Coronado D. Javier Jr., United States Army. Lance Corporal Adam Donovan Peterson, United States Marine Corps. Chief Warrant Officer 3, Carlos Javier Acevedo, United States Army. Chief Warrant Officer 3, Cruz Hector Luis Ramirez, United States Army. Staff Sergeant Rodriguez Jose Omar Sostri, United States Army. Colonel Rodriguez Victor Jose Torres, United States Army. Sergeant Bryce Allen Jones, United States Army. Airman First Class Stephen Contant Crawford, United States Air Force. Staff Sergeant Justin Kenneth Tate, United States Army. Sergeant Anthony Joseph Charkziak, United States Army. Lance Corporal William H. Krause IV, United States Marine Corps. Petty Officer 3rd Class Nathan Watford, United States Navy. Staff Sergeant Zachary A. Darris, United States Army. Sergeant First Class Carol Leroy Gregg, United States Army. Captain Martin Anthony Riggin Jr., United States Air Force. Gunny Sergeant Peter Jose Galleros, United States Marine Corps. Staff Sergeant Michael Glenn Mowry, United States Army.
Sergeant Major Joseph Alexander, United States Army. Lance Corporal Blake Bradford Hines, United States Marine Corps. Major Rodney Earl Dean, United States Army. Lance Corporal Kenneth A. Corzine, United States Marine Corps. Lieutenant Junior Grade Stephen Burt Henschel, United States Navy. Warrant Officer 1 Warren William Joseph McCutter, United States Army. Master Sergeant Mohammed Asarul Hope, United States Army. Specialist Stephen Charles Stearns, United States Army. Sergeant Garrett A. Meisner, United States Marine Corps. Petty Officer 2nd Class Anthony Lee Kunkel, United States Navy.
Private First Class Clinton Morgan Young, United States Army. Sergeant Williams B. McKenna, United States Army. Staff Sergeant William Oliver Koshkin, United States Marine Corps. Corporal Tevin L. Nivon, United States Marine Corps. Staff Sergeant Antigo Damon Borges, United States Army. Staff Sergeant Eric Christopher Brandella, United States Marine Corps. Sergeant Michael J. Beckerman, United States Army. Captain Jeremiah Daniel Sipes, United States Army. Lance Corporal Mon P. Hatan, United States Marine Corps. Sergeant Arun Jose Javier Delgado, United States Army. Corporal Jacob A. Tate, United States Marine Corps. Lance Corporal Andrew Timothy Tizon, United States Marine Corps. Petty Officer 2 Sandra Lee Thurman, United States Navy.
Specialist Christian J. Romig, United States Army. Staff Sergeant Chris A. Cherrier, United States Army. Lieutenant Colonel J. Frederick Ball, United States Army. Sergeant First Class Yancia Pablo Fernandez, United States Army. Sergeant Eric M. Nettleton, United States Army. Sergeant First Class Robert W. Ferris, United States Army National Guard. Corporal Christopher Cody Dahl, U.S. Marine Corps. Commander Matthew A. LaCroix, United States Navy Reserve. Staff Sergeant Christina R. Willis, United States Army. Master Sergeant Bradley Stephen Jackman, United States Air Force. Specialist Ethan C. Harden, United States Army. Private First Class Ira B. Lanningham, United States Army. Private First Class Robert J. Neer, United States Army. Technical Sergeant Lanny Ray Rex, United States Air Force. Lance Corporal Joseph R. Geis, United States Marine Corps. Petty Officer Second Class Melvin Ong Leo, United States Navy. Master Sergeant Aaron Dean Sebi, United States Army. Staff Sergeant William Hutchinson Jr., United States Air Force.
Petty Officer First Class Carl William Davis. Airman First Class, United States Navy. Airman First Class Luis M. Vasquez, United States Air Force. Petty Officer Second Class Courtney Marie Lombardo, United States Navy. Sergeant First Class Jason Matthew Gleason, United States Army. Staff Sergeant Robert Kenneth McCourt, United States Air Force. Specialist Benjamin Gerald Moore, United States Army. Private First Class Zachary S. Salmon, United States Army. Sergeant Zanaya C. Kramer, United States Army. Major Evan J. Moldick, United States Army. Specialist Jared L. King, United States Army. Sergeant Omar Achieves, United States Army. Sergeant Trinidad Rodriguez Jr., United States Army. Petty Officer Second Class Jared Paul White, United States Navy. Sergeant Jamie Michelle Allison, United States Army. Captain Jessica Rios, United States Army. Senior Airman Glenord Charles, United States Air Force. Sergeant Wesley James Rice, United States Marine Corps. Private First Class Jesse Raymond Serwick, United States Army. Specialist Jose A. Torrey Jr., United States Army.
Specialist Martin J. Lamar, United States Army. Sergeant Michael P. Bartley, United States Army. Staff Sergeant Michelle Marie Clark, United States Army. Private First Class Dustin Daniel Rader, United States Army. Major Michael S. Evarts, United States Army. Corporal Joseph C. Whitehead, United States Marine Corps. Specialist Eric Ashley Sandley, United States Army. Specialist Joshua T. Lancaster, United States Army. Specialist Ayanti Roses Bennett, United States Army. Private First Class Kimberly Jean Kuzma, United States Army. Private First Class Amy R. Sinkler, United States Army. Corporal Annie Labarian Tillman, United States Army. Specialist Richard James Kemp, United States Army. Sergeant Jason G. Amoris, United States Marine Corps. Chief Petty Officer Dong Huang Tran, United States Navy.
Chief Petty Officer Christian J. Lund Villanueva, United States Navy. Colonel David Michael Haar, United States Air Force. Sergeant Amanda Nicole Downing, United States Army. Private First Class Benjamin Thomas Grote, United States Army. Airman Jamie Burrows, United States Air Force. Specialist Tessering Nadup Tenzin, United States Army. Sergeant First Class Wilhelmina Danita Beverly, United States Army. Staff Sergeant Thomas Wayne Owens, United States Army. Tech Sergeant Leslie D. Williams, United States Air Force. Chief Warrant Officer 2, Stephen Orland Eggers, United States Army. Staff Sergeant Gregory Harlos Lynch, United States Army. Staff Sergeant Matthew Norris Miller, United States Army. Sergeant First Class Anthony Benetz Jr., United States Army. Staff Sergeant Julio Cesar Lugo Jr., United States Army. Specialist Joshua R. Campbell, United States Army.
Specialist Sean A. Muir, United States Army. Specialist Sean A. Muir, United States Army. Sergeant Joshua Sean Sheffield, United States Army. Petty Officer Second Class Brandon J. Stone, United States Navy. Sergeant First Class Donald Keith Hitchcock, United States Army. Master Sergeant James Thomas Jones IV, United States Army. Specialist Omar Soltero, United States Army. Private Petty Officer Third Class Brian Wayne Hicks, United States Navy. Senior Airman Cody R. Rocha, United States Air Force. Captain Eric Carl Schmidt, United States Air Force. Colonel Brett Andrew Norris, United States Marine Corps. Sergeant John Cecil Pug, United States Army. Lieutenant Colonel Grant Elliott Gabriel, United States Army. Sergeant First Class Brenda Fiona Ariandel, United States Army. Specialist Ryan A. Gartner, United States Army. Tech Sergeant Robert Vaughn Hetrick, Jr., United States Air Force. Private First Class Bradley Kyle Sorelis, United States Army. Chief Warrant Officer 2, Edward Julius Goodlow, Jr., United States Army. Specialist Hugh Evans Landsberger, Jr., United States Army.
Private First Class Rita Rochelle Allen, United States Marine Corps. Corporal Lucas T. Payette, United States Marine Corps. Major Matthew Patrick Burke, United States Army. Tech Sergeant Curtis Even Ecclesian, United States Air Force. Specialist Dustin Earl Johns, United States Army. Sergeant Patrick R. Carroll, United States Army. Specialist Alex G. Jamid, United States Army. Sergeant First Class Jeffrey Mark Jameson, United States Army. Staff Sergeant Mark Shane Walton, United States Army. Corporal Donald Dean Fowler III, United States Marine Corps. Lance Corporal Aaron M. Swanson, United States Marine Corps Reserve. Specialist Nathan B. Cars, United States Army. Staff Sergeant Abel Martinez Fernandez, United States Army. Hospital Apprentice Chase Daniel Church, United States Navy.
$205 service members, over 55 dates of death. I'd like to say that one of our highest days. We read every night between 150 and 350 names over a month and a half period. So I said we only run about 50 miles a day, so there's been a lot of loss in short periods of time in this country, and it's very emotional, as you can imagine. Before I close this portion, one of the things that we do is we also allow the opportunity for anyone in the room whose loved one may not have been mentioned And you don't have to be, it doesn't have to be someone during this period of time that we're running for, October 12th, 2000 forward. It could be any generation in our country's history, because our organization recognizes every generation, every single service member, regardless of time period or branch of service or cause of death. And so, if there's anyone in this room who may have lost someone, maybe a friend, it doesn't have to be a relative, it could be a comrade, someone they served with, just an opportunity to say their name out loud, or any of the other Gold Star families here who we have not read their name today. So, yes, sir.
John Hansel, U.S. Army.
Yes, sir.
Staff Sergeant Paul Pablo, United States Army.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Drill Sergeant Major Russell Dean Watermill, World War II, Normandy, Ruhr, Remagen, U.S. Army.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Staff Sergeant John W. Lamont, World War II, Army.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Max Brubaker, like in Indiana, Vietnam.
Thank you. And
Blake Whipple, November 5th, 2010,
Branch.
Army.
Yes, sir.
Drew Hobbs, Army National Guard, October 1st, 2017.
Yes, ma'am.
My classmate from high school, Sammy Robinson, Army, out of Owensville, Missouri,
What was his name?
Vietnam.
What was his name?
Sammy Robinson.
All right, thank you. Yes, sir.
I have two. Our son, PFC Eric Weinrich, U.S. Army, and our brother, Sergeant First Class John Stafford Weinrich, U.S. Army retired.
Thank you.
I have three generations. I had my brother, Larry Martoni, in Vietnam, died. I have my father, Augustine Martoni Sr., World War II, United States Air Force Airborne. And I have our son, Justin, Gunny Sergeant Justin Robert Martoni, died in 2006 in Iraq.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not sure of his rank, but Dennis Richard Lau, he was Army. He was just after the Vietnam era.
Yes, ma'am.
And our son will be honored tomorrow, Sergeant Christopher Gould, U.S. Army.
Anyone else? Yes, sir.
Don Teal, April 29th, 2001, Marine Corps.
We could just have a moment of silence for those names that were read and those that were spoken and the ones that we keep hidden in our hearts.
Amen.
I'm going to ask Don Finnegan to come forward. Indiana could not have come together. I don't know if everyone knows who Don Finnegan is. Don is our honorary member state chapter director, and he has a team behind him. But he's also been doing the Indiana Run for the Fallen with his team for the last, 3 years? 3 years, and so that was one of the reasons why we decided to come through Indiana on our nationwide run, is because we knew we had the support and the strength here in Indiana to actually rooted ourselves up into the, up through Kansas, Nebraska, to come down through Indiana, just so we could have his support and honor his effort. And of course, Don Gillespie's been helping us throughout the entire route for the last 2 years. You've been helping us for 2 years now.
2 years.
And helping us pull runners together in a lot of other areas, and really appreciate Don's help, because without the extra runners on the ground, then 1 or 2 of us are running it all. And you can imagine one person trying to run 50 miles a day, you know, all across America. So we need the support of not only our core team, but locally across, you know, as we go through. And Don's been organizing that for us, and his team. Is there anybody else in your team here?
Oh, we have Robert Hammond.
Robert, who came and was been driving for us the last couple of days. And then I'd like to recognize our national team. You guys would raise your hand. Those are the core team. You look around. Laura slipped out someplace. So you had my phone, so I couldn't silence it. One of the things that is the most meaningful to us as an organization, you know, obviously is our mission is to leave the Honor and Remember flag as a national symbol of remembrance, public symbol, so that the flag stands as a legacy of appreciation for all those families that have given all to this country. And in our effort to make this a national symbol, we now have 24 state adoptions. Indiana is one of our 24 states, which is great. But it's more than just getting the flag out there flying on flagpoles for the families, although that is, you know, is a pretty big undertaking in of itself. But it's about, like we're doing now, or throughout the day, remembering their names out loud and remembering them as individuals and as those who contributed before they enlisted and certainly with their sacrifice. But one of the things that we really enjoy being able to do is to make a presentation of personalized honorable flags. And we don't get to do it every night. I wish we could. My goal was to have a flag at least 1% of every single night for over the course of the 5 months. We've probably presented 50 over the last 77 days, so we haven't done too badly. So tonight we have 3 families that we'd like to present to. I'm not sure if the families are all here. Have we? Is the Freese family here? Is it, that's the way you pronounce it, Freese?
F-R-I-E-S-E.
Freeze. No? All right, this one we're going to hold. Sometimes families can make it, and sometimes they're not able to. Oh, okay. Let me have that one certificate then. I'd like for the Weinrich family to come forward. See, now you guys live in Texas or in Arizona? No. Missouri. Oh, Missouri.
Arizona. You ran with us in Arizona.
I was in Arizona. Our son Smile was in Arizona.
All right, forgive me.
That's okay.
If I can remember that we were.
All right.
Well, we'd like to honor you tonight with all those here with this special gift. And it's not folded correctly, so.
That's how it came out of the box.
I was gonna explain it, yeah.
I had to give you the first one out of the bat, didn't
You had to give me that, that's all right. Well, anyway, this flag is folded in a triangle because it mirrors the American flag that was folded in a triangle and handed to the family at the memorial of their loss. This American flag is folded reverently, respectfully, and encased in a shadow box and meant to stay that way as a gift from a grateful nation, but as a reminder of the loss of their child. The Honor Remember flag is folded this way only one time, and once it's opened, it's meant to be a celebration of his life and not a memorial of his death. And so if you'll Well, I know, here, you open the flag and I'll read it. Yep. This honor and remember flag is presented with eternal gratitude and respect in memory of Private First Class Eric S. Weinrich. With this flag, we honor this patriot's unwavering dedication and remember his self-sacrifice. By displaying this symbol collectively as a nation, we humbly recognize the enormity of your loss and respectfully say thank you. Are they waiting on family? Okay. We have another family that's on their way. So in the meantime, what are we gonna do?
Well, I want to say one.
Want to tell Jim?
No, I won't say one. Joke out. I had an opportunity today, I've had an opportunity to present some number flags. And each flag obviously represents a face, a name, and a story, and a human, and emotion. But I had an opportunity today because Gold Star Mama, far southeast tip of Indiana, asked me to, if somebody would stand in for her son at his market. And so when I asked the group, they suggested, since I knew her, that I stand in. Well, you know, I've never done that before. And to be honest with you, I didn't like it. Okay? Because I felt that emotion. I mean, I didn't live it, but I felt it. And I was able to message her at my 5-mile-an-hour speed behind the RVs and to tell her that we did. And she was just so excited. I wanted to thank the group for personally doing something a little extra for her since she couldn't get up here. So I just wanted to kind of mention that. I still think about it. While George left us, and over here, while we're waiting a second, we've presented 154 flags in the state of Indiana. We actually have 19 scheduled the month of June, 15 on gun. Some of our families just decided they wanted it as part of the run, and it was just special. We've been active in presenting flags, and, as well as other states, Michigan here, and Leroy. You know, as much as I try to close the border from Michigan to Indiana, and not let a Michigander in here, he keeps sneaking in here. And God love him, we started kind of almost together. We were a little bit on him there, and it was just nice for him to be down here, and we appreciate it. John Aldridge, we all belong to another organization. It's how we got involved, and my involvement started with an email, a single email, back in the spring of 2009, by a guy who sent out hundreds and hundreds of emails and you couldn't keep up with them. Just looked at an email and said, you know, I'm not a veteran. Both my son served, but I'm not a veteran. It was something that our organization could do and get behind. And with that, this is really what it's developed into. So.
Okay, you guys missed all the fun.
I know.
Well, welcome.
Thank you.
We'd like for you to stand up now.
I like you.
We've been waiting for you.
It's okay.
I'm George. What's your, Lori? David, thanks for being here.
We met a few years ago, had an opportunity, and Russ actually set this up. Not only did he set it up to be here, but he also set up the initial introduction, and we worked with it. And normally, David, when you see him on Facebook, he's normally out fishing. And that's good, because we get to watch that, so.
So we have something to present to you tonight.
This honor and remember flag is presented with eternal gratitude and respect in memory of Corporal Aaron L. Seal. With this flag, we honor this patriot's unwavering dedication and remember their selfless sacrifice. By displaying this symbol collectively as a nation, we humbly recognize the enormity of your loss and respectfully say thank you.
I apologize for being so late. I can't control traffic and weather, but,
Right on time.
you know, when you see the words "never forgotten," it's just a phrase until something like this, it's just puts that phrase into action. And we can't make any memories of my son, but events like this is what we have to hang on to. It's things that we'll talk about and share with friends and family, and we really appreciate all that you guys do for all the family, the Gold Star families. So just thank you all.
Russ, go ahead.
Well, here we go. I have a great program. Thanks, everybody. He's done talking, so if I had a microphone, I'd be the happiest man in the room. Anyway, again, I said it earlier, for David and Lori's benefit, the Run for the Fallen, awesome thing. We had the last 3 days I've been with them, amazingly wet, windy, but beautiful. And for Aaron, you know, this is why we do what we do. We rode a lot of miles. They ran a lot of miles. We fought traffic and a lot of different things for Aaron today, for me, for my Billy Krause, my kids, I call them. So the reason I'm here is for your son and everybody's son. So anyway, enough of me. Don has done his job. Everybody's done their job. So I think we're going to pray a little bit over this meal, if you don't mind. Heavenly Father, here we are again. Thank you so much for the opportunity to gather, friends, family, new acquaintances. I think we'll remember each other forever. These days for the run have made many, many friendships in honor of our sons and daughters that we've given to you for our freedom. Thanks for the beautiful weather today and the beautiful weather yesterday, technically. We appreciate all the rain as a farmer. We can't be mad about it. So thanks again for everything you've given us, for all these people. Please keep them safe going home tonight. Bless this food for its intended use. And wow, unbelievable. In your son's name, let's all say it.
Amen. I have a couple of housekeeping things. There's a book going around, the guest book, if everybody would sign it, put your email and phone number in it. Also, we have a flag I showed earlier. If you're a Gold Star family and you have not put your loved one's name on this flag, please do that before you leave. And there's also a red book to put your information in with the Gold Star family.
If you brought an RV today and had a Scotch brew, why not request the recipe? I wrote it down. Give us the recipe. If you want a copy, find a copier or print it yourself.
And also, we have We have T-shirts and hats and stuff over here in the corner, if anybody's interested in walking away with a reminder of, our moments here. Everything helps us go through to the next city as we travel to Arlington. August 5th, Arlington, 2 o'clock, you're all invited.
I have presented the Run for the Fallen patches to every law enforcement official since 3 days, and you wouldn't believe how cool they think that is. So you see a cop wearing that, that's, you thank him, because they work their rears off today too. We have great law enforcement, since I've been doing this for 3 days, and please thank our law enforcement. Indiana, we have pretty tough cops, so we're good.
So you want to
Yeah. let's do it.
direct here, how do we do
Well,
this?
but let Gold Star families go eat, and then runners, Gold Star, we don't, just, it'll be fine. Good luck.
All right, thanks everyone for joining us today. That concludes our ceremony for the evening. We'll go eat after a cooler, much appreciated cooler, rainy day. We'll see you again tomorrow at 7 a.m. Take care.